Hi guys, my name is Josh, or as you may know me as DodaTech. Today I'm bringing you sort of a New Year's buyer's guide for computer parts and gaming computers. So we've got three price points today. We've got good, better, and best, so $750, $1,500, and $3,000. So what does it really take to make a gaming computer? Find out in this video. So we're starting with a computer that's sole purpose is for gaming, so it's not going to be that great at doing anything else. So if you want to do video editing or video rendering, that sort of stuff, you'll want to get a more expensive computer, and we'll talk about them later. So this computer we're starting with, its price point is about $750. So that's going to get you a Core i3-4160. Now that is a dual-core processor, and it's kind of Intel's sort of budget-oriented CPU, but it's still great for gaming as it's got 2 cores and, well, it's only $136. For a motherboard, we're going with the Asus H81M-E. This is a great motherboard since it's got, well, the LGA 1150 socket, so it's going to support our CPU, as well as a full-size PCI Express 3.0 port, so it's going to be able to handle our GPU as well. It's also got 2 DIMM slots for RAM, and, well, yeah, it's just a great motherboard for only $69. For memory, we're going with an 8GB kit of Kingston HyperX Fury. This is an 866 MHz kit, and you've got 2 4GB sticks. So with this motherboard we've chosen, you can't exactly upgrade that. If you wanted more RAM, you'd have to get 2 larger size sticks. But this is great RAM, 8 gigs is enough. I use 8 gigs in this rig you can see behind me here. And yeah. For storage, we actually haven't gone with an SSD in this build because, well, for $750 you can't really go with an SSD. But we went with the next best thing, so we got a Western Digital 1TB blue drive. The blue drives are more of Western Digital's budget-oriented drives, but they're still really fast. So it spins at 7200 RPM and it's got 64 megs of cache, which is the same as their black drives, and it's still SATA 3 6 gigabits a second, so it's still really snappy. Now for our New Year's buyer's guide, we didn't really go with a video card specifically. We basically found the best video card that fit in our budget after we spec'd all the other parts. So for that, it was the Palette GeForce GTX 750. This is a 1GB card and it's overclocked as well, so it's got nice clock speeds. It's faster than some of the other 750s, and it's basically just go to your local store and find the best card you can find in your budget. For a case, we've gone with the Cooler Master N300. Now this is a mid-tower case, and I think it's great. It's only $50, but it's got USB 3 and basically everything you need. It supports full-sized ATX boards, 8 drives, 2 5¼ inch drives, and 1 3.5 inch external drive. And as I said, it's only $50. For a power supply, we're going with the Corsair CX430. This is a great power supply since it's 430 watts and it's also 80 plus bronze. Sorry, did I say CX430? I meant CX430M. This is a semi-modular power supply, so that means it's going to have your SATA and PCI Express cables not attached in case you don't use them. And this is only going to cost $75. And lastly, we're up to the operating system. Now you can choose whatever you want here, Windows 7, Windows 8, or in a couple of months, Windows 10. Now, I've used Windows 10, I think it's great. It's only a technical preview, so things are subject to change. So we went with Windows 8.1 because it was cheaper than all the other options, but prices are fluctuating with the operating system at the moment. Windows 7 from my distributor has gone from about $100 to about $150. So Windows 8 at its $130 price point is still quite high, but it's the cheapest thing we had, so yeah. All up, this system came up to $766, so yeah, it's a little over our $750 price bracket, but prices are fluctuating, so yeah. Next we have our better system. So this is priced at $1,500, and it's basically $1,500 is going to get you the best bang for the buck. So for starters, we've got the Intel Core i5 4690K. This is a Devil's Canyon chip, and it's clocked at 3.5 GHz. This is also a quad core, so games these days, they're starting to take advantage of multiple cores. So this 3.5 GHz quad core is a nice option for only $294. The Asus H97M-E is a compelling option for a motherboard since it's micro ATX, but it still has all the features you'll need, such as 4 RAM sockets, and it also has a great PCI Express layout. So if you wanted 1 or even 2 video cards in this system, you could with this motherboard. For memory, we're going with Kingston HyperX, and it's the same kit we used before. It's still the 8GB 1866 MHz kit, but with this motherboard you can throw in 2 of these and get 16 gigs, and yeah. It's 1866, it's faster than what I recommend, which is 1600, but it's really cheap and it's only $104. Now we did get to throw in an SSD in this build. Now it's not some fancy M.2 SSD, but it is a Samsung 840 EVO. And now it's a 120 gig SSD, but I've seen the 240s as low as the 120s when they're on sale. So if you can get a 240, grab a 240, but if the 120 is all you can afford, grab the 120. Also, we throw in a Seagate Barracuda 3TB. Now 3TB is really the sweet spot with these spinning drives. Now 3TB is a lot of storage. You can get up to I think 6TB drives these days, but a 7200 RPM 3TB drive is certainly enough. For the video card, now I want to preface this by saying some sellers don't sell this anymore, so if you can get one cheap or on a run out sale, then fine. But it's the EVGA GeForce GTX 760. Now, it's a 2GB card, and yeah, it's a 760. It's classed as the best bang for the buck, and it's became really compelling now that the price has been cut. We found it for just under $300, so yeah. For a power supply, we're going with the Corsair CX750M. This is an 80 plus bronze semi-modular power supply, and it's 750 watts, nothing real special here. It's Corsair's Builder series, so it's basically no frills. And yeah, 750 watt, it's going to be enough for a few upgrades in the future, so if you wanted to add extra hard drives, SSDs, anything like that, it's going to have enough power to do that. For the case, we went with the Corsair Obsidian 750D. This is a full tower case with a great side panel window and stunning looks. It's got USB 3 and all the features you'll probably need ever. Lastly, the operating system again, I've said before, it's up to you. We just went with a copy of Windows 8.1. Our better system today came out to a total of $1,494. So that's just under the $1,500 price bracket. And now that the price has been cut on the GeForce GTX 760, you might be able to get that a little cheaper. Now for our last system today. This is basically the best system you'll buy for gaming. If you spend any more on a system, it's not really going to do anything for you for gaming. So we went with an Intel Core i7 4790K. This is an overclockable CPU with 4 cores. Also, it has hyper-threading. So Windows sees it as an 8-core processor. It's clocked at 4 GHz and it'll turbo boost up to 4.4 GHz, and it's only $422. For memory, we've gone with the same kit as before, except it's a 16GB kit. So it's got 2 sticks of 8GB, it's clocked at 1866 MHz, and Kingston HyperX Fury. It's a great brand and a great product. So yeah, if you wanted to, you could get 2 kits of this and have 32 gigs. The motherboard will support that fully. And yeah. Now for storage, we went a little overkill here. We went with a Samsung 850 Pro 256 gig SSD. This is Samsung's top of the line SATA 3 SSDs, and they're really fast, really snappy, and it's 256 gigs. It's only going to cost $215. Now this is where we went overkill. We went with a WD Red, which is their NAS drives, so they're meant to be going in servers where there's lots of drives piled up, which basically means they're really reliable. And we went with the 6 TB. Like I said before, this is a NAS hard drive, so it's going to be really reliable and really fast. Now, it's quite an expensive drive. It actually costs more than our SSD at $369, but come on, it's 6 terabytes. For our video card, we went with an EVGA GeForce GTX 980. This is Nvidia's new top-of-the-line video card, and it's got EVGA's ACX 2.0 cooler on it. It comes equipped with 4GB of GDDR5 memory, and it's a great card for the price of only $780. To power this build, we went with a Corsair RM1000. This is a 1000 watt, 80 plus gold modular power supply. Corsair is a great power supply brand, so the RM series is no exception, and it's only going to cost $260. For a case, we actually went with this one right behind me. It's the NZXT Phantom 820 Matte Black Edition. This is a full tower case with a side panel window, massive 200mm fans. I think it comes with 3 of them actually. Radiator support, all of that sort of stuff, and it's only going to cost $255. For the motherboard, we went with the Gigabyte Z97X Gaming GT. Now, gaming boards are basically no different from normal boards, except they may have some fancy red heat sinks, like this board. It's got the LGA 1150 socket, so it will support our CPU, it's got 4 RAM sockets, and it's got a great PCI Express layout. It's a full-size ATX motherboard, so you can have multiple video cards, and it's only going to cost $319. Finally, as always, we went with Microsoft Windows 8.1. So guys, which system are you going to buy, or are you going to build your own? Leave a comment down below if you have any thoughts, questions, or comments about this video. Like this video if you like it, dislike it if you disliked it, and don't forget to subscribe. My name's Josh, or as you may know me, DodaTech, and I'll see you next time.